though.
Yeah, it's game time. ConX5 here with Neo. This is going to be our post-match pug here. Just playing around on this Protresse map, which we saw on the MLDT map list. Didn't make the final cut though, so I've actually never casted it before. So we'll see how much fun we can have on this trying to figure everything out. I'm not even sure how many of these players are familiar with this map.
Yeah, Bob going for that quick run. He's going to bring it back to his flag stick. He's definitely been one of the people that have played this map several times now, with myself included.
Yeah, and you see Fusion getting all the way across the map. He actually took the exact same flag route Bob did, taking that sort of low right side, I guess, shock alleyway, where you leave out shock, and then, oh, you see him piston it up to his flag stick, gets denied on the stick. And that close denial right there, just a continuation of the theme we saw from that MLUT match. As, you know, both sides in that last match are having some very tight last-second denials to keep the match close. We've already seen one coming in here.
Yeah, definitely, and if I'm not mistaken here, there's only 250 shields on this map. I don't know that there's any other power-ups at all.
Yeah, for those who can't quite get a sense of scale from watching, this is an extremely short map. So it's one of those maps where you can get across it very, very quickly. So things like getting pickups, getting back to the enemy base to grab the flag again, or to get a pickup or what have you, happens very, very quickly. You can't when you kill someone, they can be right back in your face within 5 seconds in most cases.
Yeah, and it looked like Failsauce with the first cap of the match there for Red Team. Red Team's going to be Blimpo, Failsauce. Big B is going to be Bob. Big J, not sure. Big D is Dre. Against Lockdown, Marcos, Fusion, Kuzki, and Ark.
I believe Big J is going to be HV, because his real name would be Jeff.
Ah, yes. There we go.
So meanwhile, you got Dre with that flag on his own stick, waiting for this return. Not going to happen, though. You know, with that flag stick being so exposed, it seems like it's kind of a risky move to play standoffs right there, though.
Yeah, when I've played it in the past, I've actually played a lot of defense on this map with Bob. Usually you'll see kind of what's happening here, where this team's taking the flag over to the rocket launcher, and that way right there you have that 50 shield that you can grab to kind of bolster a bit, and they're going to get the return there, and Kuzki's going to come piston onto his flag stick for that tied cap there. Yeah,
exactly what we saw there was the standoff for Red. Their flag carrier was kind of exposed, and even this cover, and so the Blue was able to run in too and win that 2-1-3 battle and just kill them all out and get that return clean. Ark, meanwhile, is just pistoning his way across the map, all the way back in his own side. Of course, his flag is gone. You can count on that happening a lot. You almost have to adjust your flag routes on a map like this, where you know you're not going to be able to run flag to flag clean, right?
Yeah, definitely. And this is a map where that I've seen. If you are able to get a cherry pick after the return comes in, you can grab that flag depending on where your carrier was, and you can go a different route and kind of hide a little bit. Then you're going to get, their enemy defense is going to have to go all the way back to the other base, not knowing where you are, since you can get across this map in about 7 seconds, if not quicker. So they're going to have to pretty much just be cherry picking your flag until you come back into the base when they finally see you.
Yeah, it's almost one of those maps where your defense is going to be your offense, and you have to just you're not going to be able to keep your flag home that much, but you have to hope that you can just have the enemy flag waiting on your stick whenever you get the returns. It's almost sort of a persistent standoff type map.
Yeah, definitely, and it's honestly, this map is actually probably even faster paced than the old Bleak, truly.
Yeah, I think just due to the fact you can get across it so fast, and it's very easy to get the flag not only moving, but it's easy to get the flag moving far, because it's not easy for the defense to cut you off like you can on a map like, say, Bleak, or even Virility, where you see the maps moving, or you see the flags moving a lot, but due to the way the bases are shaped, it's very easy for the defense to cut you off in mid. Here, there's not that obvious bottleneck.
Yep, definitely, and they're going to get the return there, but Failsauce not enough health to piston back to his flag stick.
Yeah, only one health. Able to get that pickup is Bob. Kind of dangerous there. Figured maybe he would pass that one up there, or off there, and Bob able to get up there and get that cap. Wow, right as they were sitting on it. So we're seeing a tie game just about a quarter of the way into this match. Failsauce missing a big piston trying to come into his base high. His flag's gone anyway, so he's going to be there. He's going to pass his flag. Probably needs to. He's down to 25 health. And this is one of those maps where, as fast as it is, like you said, there's not many pickups or power-ups to speak of. So everyone's going to have a base level of health. You're not going to count on anyone having more than 100 health. And I think, at most you can have, 50 armor. And there's not even any vials on this map, is there?
No, I don't think there is. So being stacked on this map, if you want to call it that, would be 100 health, 50 shield. So, I mean, that's going to play a big role here, a team that can pick up a lot of 50 shields, and I think that's why it's so common for, in a flag standoff situation like this, where Failsauce is headed right now up to the 50 shield. That's a very common place to hold that flag so that you can just keep getting that 50 shield, cycling that 50 shield to your teammates, and that way you have a bolster your health a little bit.
Well, what you'll see is also the natural attack route to that area is a very long hallway, so that your cover has some really easy shots to pick off attackers that come in there. So really the smart thing to do is to translocate around there and attack the flag carrier from the back. As you see, Failsauce now finding a new place to hide. Lockdown running right around him in a circle and then finally spots him, but Blimpo able to clean him up before he even gets a shot off on him. However, maps like this where the opponent health is almost always going to be under 100, it really it changes the way firefights take place. As you see, Blue able to secure that return and to keep their flag carrier escorted all the way back to the base. I mean, when you're in a map like this, Lightning Gun almost becomes an insta-gib weapon because most of the time people are going to have 70 health or less.
Yeah, definitely. It kind of has a Maul feel to it, really. Just it's just not open like Maul is.
Right, exactly.
And this is a map, another thing with that, without there being a lot of power-ups, when I've played D with Bob on it, I actually have used a lot of minigun. So a player like M-Walt, who, uses minigun a lot, it's right there, right by the stick, you can spawn, grab it, and you can just mow him down.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things is on a map that's potentially fast-paced but not many power-ups, things like minigun and especially link gun to stop these pistons can be very crucial. You need to have, if you can have a flag defender that's just willing to not try to be a hero and get a bunch of headshots and instead just lock down people with that link and make it so much easier for the other defender to get those cleanup kills, it can be very, very effective.
Yeah, definitely. That's the type of defense you'll see sometimes on like a map like Grendel Keep with the link right underneath the flag stick. Have one person kind of lock them down, and then if you have a good hit scanner, they'll just headshot them all day.
It's going to be a really difficult map to make to do camera work on, to make it easily watchable for viewers, because these flag carriers aren't going to last very long due to low health, and the flag's going to be moving non-stop. So what I'm going to try to do is do a little bit more free cam work here. As you see, Jeff able to, or I should say Big J, HV, able to get that nice little sneaky return there to tie this game up once again to just about the halfway point. And we are seeing a really close match here. Red flag gets back. Blue is all over their base though. So we're going to see them frag their way right out of the base. Red base is completely overtaken by blue. They're going to walk their way out low, come back in low. They have cover all over them. In fact, their defense is even pushing out low, so everything completely cleaned up for him. He's going to be at that 50 armor, like you were saying. Probably the most natural place for a standoff. Flag gets back, but Red able to cut him off. That is one... Oh, wow. Blue able to sneak in there with Red all over their flag stand. No one able to get a grab. It's a little bit of a miscue there. And actually kind of a dangerous move by him, dodging under the flag stand, surrounded by enemies. But I guess he figured he might as well go for it, and it worked out for him.
Yeah, that's another one of those that he died right. It's almost like his dead body captured that flag there. Failsauce's going to move his flag back to his 50 shield. He's really, he's not as low as I thought, but a couple times now, Failsauce, we've seen him keep the flag in his own hands with low health, and that's kind of risky here.
Yeah, especially on a map where you're going to be able to spawn and be right back to your flag anyway. You might as well. There's really no reason to have people without 100 health. That said, Red able to cover that one all the way back to the flag stick, get that return, and another tie game coming up right here with just about the halfway point. So a high-score game here, but definitely staying even. As I forgot to turn my phone off. There we go. And
And it'll
Blimpo
be
jumps right over the flag.
It'll be interesting to see a different map that maybe people are more used to see how even these teams actually are. I'm not sure if they're such a close game because of the unfamiliarity with the map, or if they really are this even of teams.
It's a good point. I am curious though. I mean, being this small of a map, like, I don't know. It's just a different dynamic. It makes you. I wonder how different skill levels benefit, because every map has its own sort of combination of complexity, size. It benefits different skills differently. For instance, a map like, say, Maul, which is wide open and most people don't have much health, it's going to benefit your fragging teams a lot more. A map like, say, Infractuous is so transition oriented that you can get away with negative nets and not having a good fragging team and still winning based on coordination communication. A map like this, I'm just curious to see what skills it benefits more than others.
And I think what you're going to see. Oh, he was able once again. A dead body captures the flag to make it 5-5.
Yeah, he was actually sandwiched by Blue right there, and still able to get that return just in time.
I think what you're going to see here is this is going to benefit a team that has one or two players like Failsauce that can really piston. Because these pistons across this map, where you can just cap within seconds, I think that's going to be a really good skill set here.
Yeah, good flag runner is very dangerous in a small map. Although, once again, like we've said over and over, the fact that you can't get stacked means that it's really all in the defense. I mean, I think that's what you're looking at. Is on any map, a good flag, a good fast flag runner puts a lot of pressure on the defense to make clutch shots. And on a map like this, it almost plays like Quake, I guess, where if you miss one or two shots, all of a sudden the flag runner's gone.
Yeah, definitely. It's very, very hard to keep that flag on the stick. And we're going to see Big B, or Bob, he's going to use that little hallway there, kind of close to his flag stick for a second to kind of hide, but...
Yeah, this isn't by no means a simple map. There's definitely some complexity here as far as vertical levels and different flag routes and places you can run around in, and even ways that you can switch routes in mid. It's just a very short map. So you see
Looks
Bob
like we have
actually all by himself right now. He's going to go down, and that flag gets returned.
Marcos looking to go up to his stick, and he was charging up a piston and died pretty close to his stand there.
I'm pretty sure Dre popped around the corner and killed him with the shield gun. So we saw shield gun to shield gun right there, and Dre able to win that one and get the return.
Blimpo coming back to his flag quickly. They need to get a grab or else he's going to cap that.
Did they got that? How did they get that return?
I have no idea.
We saw.
That's going to be one of those that we got to go back to.
Yeah, you see Blimpo a little confused himself there. We've seen dead bodies get caps, and now we've seen dead bodies get returns.
Yeah.
Failsauce find himself getting cut off real hard by Blue. Blimpo's got the flag, gonna get back in his own base. Needs someone to get a kill here, as this shield gun's gonna disappear. Dives into a corner, and Marco's able to get that return. Fusion also finding himself in a corner. That's one thing about this map is the switches to basically the ways that you can cross over between flag routes typically leave you in a very vulnerable position because they're very tight quarters. However, that will benefit flag carriers that are a little bit old school and are good at predicting the people chasing them and throwing things like rockets and flak balls and timing them to kill them right as they turn around those corners to chase you. Oh, and a nice timed return by Blue. Actually, it wasn't so much a timed return as just nice timing right as Marcos happened to come back to his stick, and that's going to put him up by 1. And we're getting kind of close here, just about 3/4 of the way through this match, or through this map rather. Kuski with a nice piston straight up to his lightning gun, ready for this return. It's not going to come in though, so he's going to have to dance around a little bit. So we're seeing some familiarity coming out from these teams, because certainly some of these flag runs and pistons that we're seeing aren't something that you're just going to do having never played this map before.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't seen this map played in a while, just because the MLET season has started. We're coming in on our third week, the start of a third week, and so it hasn't been played in a while. But I'm wondering if some of these players just had played it before, when we were kind of playing it a little bit before it got taken off the map list.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, being in the throes of MLUT, I was a little surprised to see a non-MLET map played, just because, you know, you'd think people want to get practice on those maps, but then again, you know, when you've got mixed up teams like this, you may have players actually relish the opportunity to play a map that, in a sense, doesn't matter. Like, they can play around on this, they don't have to worry about building bad habits or worry about, like, wasting practice time or anything, because this isn't part of the MLET map list, so they can just sort of play around and have some fun on it with, I guess, no strings attached.
Yeah, change of pace is always nice, and as we have, what is it, like 10 to 13 maps in the MLET, they get played quite a bit, so nice change of pace here.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, is at this point, all of the maps in the MLET map list, even the newish ones, are pretty well understood by players. They're pretty well trodden, and so they've all been played quite a bit. Everyone's going to know every nuance of them. So, you know, throwing in something new every now and then, I mean, it's something that this community has been pretty decent about over the years. You can see, I mean, even just looking at the MLET map list, the fact that we have so many maps that are so thoroughly well known is a testament to the fact that people are generally willing to try out new maps. I mean, I remember Pistola started off like that. It started off as the map that was weird that people were just going to try out, and now it's generally one of the more well-liked maps and a staple of what we're playing now. Ooh, Fusion able to piss him back up to his stand, so Blue running away with this one now. The 3-cap lead, 3 minutes to go. The thing about this map is, since it's so small and it's so fast to get from flag to flag, you could potentially see some really fast comebacks or really snowballs on this map, really go in either direction.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, honestly, in order to be able to say that this map is over, we're gonna have to be they're gonna have to be up by the same 3 at least, with you know, less than a minute and 30 to go, because you can get it through the base, through to the other base so quickly.
Yeah, you really have to play until the, I don't know, we don't really have a whistle, we don't really have a bell, but until the closing announcer, until the sexy robot lady sings, so to speak. And now we're seeing Kuski and Ark being a little cheeky here. I believe by sitting in this room, they're actually preventing the red team from spawning there. So you're not going to see anyone just happen to spawn there, I don't think, and see them. So red team's going to have to actually check their own spawn room in order to notice that the enemy flag carrier is there.
Yeah, I do think you're right. I think that they can't spawn there when they're in there, so it's kind of an interesting little nuance.
Yeah, I think the you know, the code of the game, it tries to spawn you away from the enemy team, and so Blue now is just having a tea party with the red flag in red zone spawn room. And the thing is, this room isn't part of a natural route across the map. It's one of those things where, you know, unless you know to look there, you see the multi-kill coming in by Dre, and he figured that one out eventually, crashed their tea party, and smashed all their crumpets. So
yeah, that was pretty funny there. And one thing to point out, that in that room, the wall next to it is very thick. So it's not one of those walls where if you're going by through the shock/black area, where you're going to see the glow of the flag through the wall like you will in Grundle Keep.
Yeah, that flag halo not going to give you away as easily there. However, you know, while there are some areas to sort of temporarily hide in this map, like we see Fusion kind of ducking away in that little sniper alley, once people know them, I mean, this map is so small, you can check all of these areas in a matter of seconds. So once people kind of get used to this map, I don't think hiding is going to be a particularly useful tactic. You're going to have to just be on the move the whole time.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see much more of that, especially if it gets played a little bit more, which I would like to see. I think it's a pretty fun map. You won't see that as often, I don't think.
Yeah, I think what you'll see is more like what you see in an Anfractuous, which is probably the next fastest map that we play. In that it's so complex, there are places to temporarily hide, but you're never going to stay in one place too long, because no individual place is particularly easy to defend. And so once you get predictable, then it can be a pretty quick death. And that's probably how this map's going to play the same way, is that you can juke and you can run around, you can constantly circle around, but you're not so much going to play hide and seek. And that is Protresse. I'll flip through some of these stats real quick. And so, yeah, I'm not sure, again, whose map pick that was, but I guess we'll find out what the second map of this pug is going to be, and how that turns out. This was pretty even for the most part. I mean, we saw some very, very tight denials and tight caps coming in from both sides. So I think we can call this one fairly even. You see the nets kind of all over the place.
Yeah, pretty even match. It was 5-5 at one point, and then Blue was able to come in with 2 pretty quick caps to make it 7-5, and they were able to just keep locked down. And then as we saw Ark and Kuzki, and I don't know who the third was, having their little tea party on the side there to elongate a flag run for quite a while, actually. It took at least a good minute for them to find them there.